Hey everyone, welcome back to yet another video. Today we will recap week 10 of the NFL season. I don't know what was up this week with the primetime games. All of them were not that great, but we'll recap every game of the week and let's get into it. First up, we had the Raiders losing 7-10 against the Broncos. Yeah, I kind of expected this to be a little bit further and a lot more on the Broncos side than what happened. I guess the Broncos just did not perform well this game. I at least expected this amount of points, so at least around there for the Raiders. I didn't expect Geno Smith to do well. Actually, he's just not been that great so far this year. The Broncos, though. Okay, 5.4 yards per average, 1 TD, 2 interceptions. That's really not that good. And then J.K. Dobbins was able to do at least something to where it wasn't like a total bad game, but come on, man. This game was such a snooze fest as well. The Raiders only scored beginning of the fourth quarter area, then it was just Broncos getting it when they can. And the Raiders defense isn't really that good either. And so I don't know why the Broncos struggled so much. But if this says anything to me, it's just that the Broncos just keeps winning easy games because they've won against 2 to the Jets. They've won by 1 to the Giants. They struggled against the Titans week 1. There's just a bunch of games that the Broncos have had that just does not look good at all. And this game is just one of those games as well. So, yeah, there's not really much else to say. Next up, we had an actually good game between the Indianapolis Colts and the Atlanta Falcons. This is the only standalone game that was actually a good game. But, yeah, we had Jonathan Taylor getting 244 yards. He's in 3 touchdowns. Whoa. That's a lot. And he had 50 fantasy points. Close to, and that's just insane. Daniel Jones he did pretty good in 19 of 26 with 255 with taking 7 sacks as well. And the Falcons kept it close as well. And that defense doing their sack and keeping the Colts sack numbers. Penix didn't do all that well, but Bijan did quite a bit. And he actually had more than 15 carries this time. Good to go, way to go, Falcons, on actually using Bijan this week. You didn't win, but at least you actually had a good carry amount to where you actually almost did. And then Blake London did pretty good. 6 receptions, 104 yards, and a touchdown. Tyler Warren had very good play near the end. I can't say too much because I only watched him the 2-minute warning on and the overtime. But hey, you know what? In props to the Colts, they're able to get it done. The Falcons continue to lose against good teams, and the Falcons do play the Panthers next week, so you'll see how that game goes. But yeah, an overall good game, and I have more hope for these two teams. Next up, we had the Chicago Bears winning 24-20 against the New York Giants. Yeah, let's just say that the fourth quarter came and that's when everything clicked for the Bears. It definitely looked pretty bad through those first 3 quarters. I don't know what to say with that one, honestly. However, Jackson got injured, which probably helped us come back. We had and Dayball is officially out as well as of, I want to say yesterday. was yesterday in the news, or was it just earlier today? I forgot exactly when, but Daboll was officially fired in front of the Giants this week. And hey, you know what? Didn't say thank you, Giant fans. Anyways, yeah. So, yeah, Bears won 24-20 in just a mess for the Giants. It's letting us come back like that. And yeah, there's not really too much else to say with this one. Next up, we have the Miami Dolphins winning 30 How did this game happen? 13 against the Buffalo Bills. Okay, so Tua actually did all right this game. 8.2 average, 2 touchdowns. There is 2 interceptions in there, but let's talk about De'Von Achane for the Dolphins because he had such a good game. 22 carries, 174 yards, 2 touchdowns. I had De'Von Achane in my fantasy, and I ended up scoring 173 points in my fantasy this week. So, and De'Von Achane was the highest scorer. There's a few other players within the fantasy that got a 10 plus, but you know what? Well, let's just say 15 plus because 10 plus isn't really all that great. But De'Von Achane being that leading scorer for my fantasy team. Let's talk about the Bills now. Josh Allen, you know what? He did all right in the amount the Bills did, honestly. 306 yards, 7.7 average, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. That's all right, actually. The Bills' offense didn't okay, there it is. 2 fumbles lost. I was like trying to figure out what was wrong with this, but yeah, okay. Those turnovers absolutely cost the Bills in this game because they had 289 yards passing, another 87 rushing. Yeah, they only scored 13 points. So those turnovers absolutely cost them in this game. And if turnovers is going to be a problem, I don't expect them to be like a top contender. In fact, they're probably not even going to win the division after this game because we'll get to the Patriots in a little bit, but after the Chiefs game, you end up saying this result. Yeah, this is not a good look, and yeah, you're probably not going to win in anything in the postseason, really. Next up, we have the Baltimore Ravens winning 27-19 against the Minnesota Vikings. The Ravens, they got it done. Lamar didn't play all too well this game, and Derrick Henry didn't do too much, but they ended up getting it done. Let's go over to Minnesota. The watching game keeps being pretty good for the Vikings, and honestly, that's what I want to say the offense is spaced by right now, because J.J. McCarthy sucks. And hey, you know what? We play them next week. We'll see how that game goes after we blew it in the fourth quarter of the first game. But yeah, J.J. McCarthy just continues to not play well. 20 of 42, under 50% completion percentage, 248 yards, 5.9 average, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, only a rating of 54.5. Yeah, that's just generally not good. And I said it last week and I know the media was like, oh, J.J. McCarthy played well. No, he didn't. He did not play that well. And he continues to not play well. The Vikings I hate to admit it, like basically a quarterback away from like actually contending. But they just aren't there right now. JJ McCarthy is not that quarterback. And I just gotta say, when we win next week, at least if the Bears win next week, Vikings are definitely not making the playoffs. They'll definitely be last in the division. And yeah, it's just going to be like that. Next up, we have the Jets winning against the Browns 27-24. The Browns. Okay, let's just say this, actually. I know what I said in my picks video that I think that I had the Jets offensively, better offensively. The Browns actually did better offensively. They just both sucked. The rushing game in Cleveland actually did a bit better than the New York rushing game. But the pass, can I just say that the passing is actually kind of, I mean, both teams are just not good at passing. Justin Fields only had 11 attempts, though. So that's interesting. That's interesting, to say the least, because the Jets was able to win with only 11 passing attempts and 33 rushing attempts. Then again, they did have 2 special teams touchdowns, punt return and a kick return. So that absolutely helped the Jets win this game. But yeah, this is just not that good of a game either, because I mean, yeah, the Jets won again, but did they really win it? I mean, yeah, they did really win it, but like, it was really the special teams that did it for them, and the Browns it's just not that good anyways. Needs to have anything else to say about that game. Next up, we have the Patriots winning 28-23 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yeah. With this performance of the Patriots, it's not hard to assume that they're definitely going to win the division, the AFC East. It's considering where the Jets and the Dolphins are, the Bills, their biggest competition, who ended up losing to the Dolphins. Yeah, the Patriots has a real shot at winning this division and hosting a playoff game. Drake May didn't do that well completion percentage. However, he still did get 270 yards. So, hey, that's not bad against the Bucs defense. 2 touchdowns, 1 interception for Drake May as well. The rushing game, 14 carries, 147 yards, and 2 touchdowns to go with it. That's some really good stuff. Going over to the Bucs, Baker Mayfield had 3 touchdowns and his 273 yards. The rushing game was able to only get 113 overall yards and about 21 carries. This was a pretty good game, and the Patriots ended up coming away with it. And now, I will say this though, Baker, 273 yards off 43 attempts isn't really all too great. I didn't expect this game to be like the game that Baker gets back into it, into his like usual like more dominant self, because it's the Patriots, and they've been having all the momentum right now. But overall, this game was a pretty good game. The Patriots have shown that they can win against good opponents, and the Buccaneers, while they lost this one, they can absolutely fight with good opponents. And they do have the 6-3 record and leading the division as well. But this is just a tough loss for the Bucs. They are very injured right now. But you know what? This is a pretty good game, and we'll see both of these teams next week. Then, in typical Panthers fashion, they end up losing to the Saints 17-7. Okay, after beating the Panthers beat the Packers and then lost to the Saints. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so the Saints, Tyler Shough absolutely did wonderful this game. 282 yards off of 27 attempts. Taysom Hill didn't get his attempt in, but oh man. Apparently Rico Dowdle can't do everything every single week, as only 2.9 yards per carry for Rico, and Bryce Young just continues to suck, as he only had 5 yards per attempt. 124 yards over 25 attempts. That's not good at all. But yeah, overall this game was a little bit more on the can I just say boring side, considering it's 17-7. This game only had a touchdown more than either the non-Sunday games this week, but we'll get to the Monday night one. We'll get to that. Okay. But yeah, this game was just not that great of a one either, and the Saints just was able to win it. Next up, we had how did they do it, man? How did they do it? Trevor Lawrence. Okay, let's go to the Jaguars first. Lawrence didn't have too great of a day. 13-23, 6.9 average, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The rushing game didn't do that much either. That's fine. The Texans. What happened, Jaguars? You let Davis Mills beat you. The Texans defense. The defense even had 5 sacks against you, Trevor. Woody Mook, 63 yards, 4.5 average, and a touchdown. And Mills didn't play all too great either. It honestly was the Texans rushing game. And yeah, okay. I'm a little bit more speechless in this game because I generally just don't know what happened to get for the Texans to have gotten 26 points in the fourth quarter. Like, as you can tell, across these two, it was 29-10. And then you let the Texans score 26. Now, I get 6 of them came off a very last-second field goal, touchdown, off I forgot what the last play was for a moment. Hold on. It was a fumble. Okay. I knew it was a turnover and Texans touchdown from a turnover or whatever. I just didn't remember exactly what it was. But because I saw that last play and it was like, also why that last touchdown ruined the spread pick for me in that one, because I picked the Jaguars against the spread as well, obviously, since I had them winning the game. But yeah, that just sucks. But yeah, the Texans ended up winning it. Next up, we had the first one of a boring 3 o'clock slate in the Seahawks winning 44-22 against the Arizona Cardinals. This is the first time all season the Cardinals have been blown out. And they have a 3-6 record now. All the previous 5 losses was close losses. So that one, another one of my spot picks. But yeah, Donald only had 12 attempts. I did not know that. I did not realize Donald only had 12 attempts throughout the whole game. What? Okay. I did not realize that. I'm just looking at that now for the first time. But okay. Jacoby Brissett had 22 of 44. Okay. 258 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Cardinals didn't do that bad offensively, and especially compared to the Seahawks defense. Well, that's not really that great of a yards average. The rushing game was able to do pretty good. DeMarcado having 64 yards off 4 carries. Granted, 55 of that wasn't one, but I digress. Zach Charbonnet having 83 yards. Kenneth Walker having 67. I guess there's like defensive touchdown. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Because I had the Seahawks defense in my fantasy as well, and at one point there was 31 points. At one point, granted, and it definitely went down from there. At one point, the Seahawks defense had 31 points towards like that end in the first quarter or whatever like that. That was crazy. And that just helped out 173 points more. But yeah. And Jason Myers is having a perfect day as well. And hitting all 8 of his kicks. And you really cannot say too much, actually, because, okay, Seattle did fumble twice, but Arizona did as well. Arizona won the turnover battle yet, and still lost by 22. Okay. But yeah, this was just a full-on Seahawks dominant performance. They didn't even try the second half, and it looks like, granted, they were winning 38-7 at half. But yeah, this game is not really way too exciting because, well, Seahawks won by 22 points, but yeah, they ended up winning by 22. Next up, we had probably the most exciting at some point within the game, within the 3 o'clock slate, of the Rams and the 49ers. Yeah. The Rams having... Okay, Stafford had 280 passing yards, 7 with 4 touchdowns and 0 picks. Hey, you know what? That's absolutely excellent. And Kyren Williams did 73 yards on the ground. You really cannot say too much more with the Rams, honestly. They just absolutely picked apart the 49ers defense. And the 49ers, can I just say that they are still incredibly injured, but they've been able to have a winning record. Now, against these good teams, they're going to lose. Then, as the 49ers are probably going to get third in the division behind the Rams and Seahawks at this point, but the fact that the 49ers are even having a winning record right now, still into this part of the season with all the injuries, is actually pretty good. In terms of this game, Mac Jones actually did play pretty well. 33 of 39 for 319 yards and 3 touchdowns and 1 pick. The 1 pick was generally the part that was a little bit on the iffy side. CMC did not have that great of a game though. 30 yards off 12 carries. Yeah, he did do quite a bit of the receiving game, but the rushing game just wasn't there for the 49ers, and that probably helped the Rams win this game. But yeah, this is probably the most exciting game of the 3 o'clock slate, as the one that we did not cover yet is probably the worst one. Next up, didn't we just see this goal? 44-22. The script writer got to say something. Okay. Yeah, the Lions won 44-22 as Jared Goff was able to get 320 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks. Jahmyr Gibbs, 142 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he didn't do all too much in receiving other than a touchdown, honestly, but he also had a pretty good fantasy day. This time I did not have him, but well, I didn't have Jonathan Taylor either, but I at least have one of the 3 running backs that did pretty good, Devon Achane, but yeah, the Lions just absolutely cooked in this game. 142 yards, and it was with 2 touchdowns, 9.5 average. We don't have to keep talking about the Lions, though, because they just absolutely dominated the Commanders. The passing game for the Commanders wasn't all too bad. 213 yards off 22 attempts, 2 touchdowns. It's more so the rushing game that keeps Washington out of the games for me, because Kwaski Merritt has just not been that good. He was a late round pick this year, which honestly, I'm not getting why they traded Brian Robinson Jr. after not even seeing a regular season game of Kwaski Merritt yet. But hey, darn Commanders, just whatever. But yeah, did I really expect the Commanders to have a chance in this game after Jayden Daniels left? Not really. This game was probably the most boring one. And I guess the score indicated that it was like the scoreboard at least had at least a little bit more on the competitive side, but not really. But yeah, this game just wasn't all too great of a one. Next up, we're back to the prime time games here. We had the Chargers winning 25-10. At one point, as you can see by the scoreboard, it was 3-2. Yeah, that's how the game was going at first. The Chargers had a safety. The Steelers only had a field goal. And even the next goal after that only made it 5-3 from the Chargers. Aaron Rodgers just did not play well at all. 5.2 average, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. The rush game at least got a bit going, but that does not make it up for Rodgers. And then for Herbert, he did better, 220 yards off 33 attempts. And their rushing game didn't do all too much. But yeah, this game was just not that good of a game. And yeah, the Chargers just ended up blowing out the Steelers. And finally, okay, so you lose to the Panthers, and then you lose to the Eagles in a bad game. Okay, what makes this even better is Jordan Love's stat line, because he only had 176 yards off 36 attempts. And that's 4 backup numbers. Where's the offense? The rushing game at least says is somewhat well. 74 yards off 21 attempts for Josh Jacobs. He got the 1 touchdown. Can we just talk about that ending of the game though? Because I don't know why. But hold on, because yeah, Eagles 1 foot on 4th and 6. with 33 seconds left. I mean, luckily it was like a little bit of fall for McManus to have tied it. But like, what was the Eagles thinking? That was really questionable play calling right there. And I would have expected a field goal because at least then it would have made it like more yardage for the Packers and still even win or even just tie it. I don't know what that was saying, but all right. The Eagles ended up getting it done though. Hurts had 7 in average. Saquon didn't do all too well. This game was also just not good. And as you can see, the game didn't even have a score in the first half. That's how this game was. And I could laugh at the Packers all I want with not having anything until the fourth quarter, but this game was just a bad one, no matter what you want to say. But anyways, guys, this was it for this video. If you liked it, please hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!